Greetings from St. Perpetua Community. Regardless of one's political affiliation, this year's election process has taken its toll on most of us. I think we should take pride, however, in the fact that a woman has been elected to one of our nation's highest positions of leadership. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is a multiracial American. She will be the first female U.S. Vice President, the first African American, the first Asian American, and the first Caribbean American to hold the post in U.S. history, in a country that only a century ago permitted women to vote. The glass ceiling in a high level of American politics has finally been broken. I said finally because there are 87 countries throughout the world that have or had women elected or appointed as heads of state or government as far back as 1940. The list is amazing. Names that are well known to us: Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister of India in 1966, Margaret Thatcher, Prime Minister of England in 1979, Agatha Barbara, President of Malta in 1982, Mary McAleese, President of Ireland in 1997, who served in that office for 13 years. And of course, Angela Merkel, serving as Chancellor of Germany for 14 years since 2005. More recently, Prime Minister Sanna Marin of Finland became the youngest head of state in the world, and she's the third woman to lead Finland. There are dozens of other unfamiliar names to us of women who are serving their countries in leadership roles successfully and courageously. So, for as advanced as we Americans want to consider ourselves, we certainly have lagged behind the rest of the world in recognizing and promoting the leadership skills of women in our country, not to mention the role of women in the church. One author describes the challenge this way: in American politics, a woman's gender acts as both an invisible adherent and a tight constraint. It's harder to shake off mistakes, harder to pivot, harder to throw punches, and harder to avoid them. Sexism is transparent, easy to look through if you don't want to see it, which makes it possible to pretend it isn't there at all. The evils of prejudice affect us in so many ways, through gender, race, nationality, social and economic status, sexual orientation. Like fighting a viral pandemic, it takes a great deal of effort on everyone's part to free ourselves from putting others into categories, which organize people into distinct groups, creating factions, which trigger in-group loyalty and intergroup competition, and segregation, which hardens perceptions, preferences, and beliefs. Our faith calls us away from alienation and into communion, and provides a lens through which we can see each person as unique in God's eyes, yet sharing a common humanity that resonates with every person. The poem Red Brocade by Naomi Shihab Nye, daughter of a Palestinian father and American mother, begins this way. The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days before asking who he is, where he's come from, where he's headed. That way, he'll have strength enough to answer. Or by then, you'll be such good friends, you don't care. May we find in each person the hidden treasure to discover, the gift waiting to be unwrapped and enjoyed.